welcome to Eagle Brook Church. We are so glad that you're here. Thank you for joining us wherever you are watching from. We've been in a series called Normal Isn't Working. I think sometimes we talk about 2019 like the good old days, and sometimes we think, can't we just get back to normal? But the question we've been kind of proposing in this series is, was normal working? I mean, in the series, we've looked at how we can make some adjustments to what was our normal schedules and our normal friends and some of the anxieties that we deal with on a normal basis, and in trying to make sense of our normal family. And sometimes our family doesn't feel all that normal, but we try to do our best with that. Today, I want to talk to you about how our normal habits aren't working. Like most people, I try to begin the year with a renewed sense of energy around my physical health, start thinking about exercise and what I'm putting in my body, thinking through some of those habits. Now, I think one of the hardest parts about creating new health habits is that the journey of doing so comes with so much judgment from the organic and fitness community, okay? I don't know if you've ever experienced this from your friends who are a little bit further than you on this journey, but they can be a little bit judgmental. I remember the first time I realized that I needed to change my diet. It was a few years back, and I began starting my morning off with these green drinks, okay? I thought, okay, these naked green drinks, I'm gonna do these every morning. So at the beginning of the week, I would buy 7 of these and go every morning, oh, I feel good. Now, that would be the only healthy thing I did all day long. Nevertheless, I felt good about this decision until I was drinking one at church one day, and a friend walks up to me and says, ew. I said, ew, excuse me? What is wrong with this? You know what they said? Too much sugar. Way too much sugar. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's still better than my previous Egg McMuffin diet, okay? But what do I know? I'm not a health professional. I'm not a nutritionist, but you're gonna try and, don't discourage me. I feel like I'm making progress here. And then she says, well, it's best if you make it yourself in the morning. Do I look like the juice bar to you? No, I'm not doing this. Thank you for the encouragement, friend, and then you start drinking water more. You're like, okay, everyone tells you you need to drink more water, So I started drinking more water. Once again, I felt good, felt very good about drinking more water until my organic friend walked up to me, and you know what they said? They said, it's not alkaline water. I said, alkaline water? Are you coming at Aquafina now? Come on. I mean, give me some credit. It's got to be better than Coke. It has to be. I promise you. They're like, nope, it's dirty water. I'm like, have you ever looked up alkaline water before? It is expensive, okay? Listen, I think if someone is willing to judge your water, they should also be willing to pay for your alkaline water, okay? Now, I want better eating habits, but the judgment's real. It's the same thing in the exercise world. I mean, have you ever gone to the gym, saw everyone there, and just left? You just instantly got discouraged. Listen, the first week of this year, I went to the gym every single day to get a protein shake, and then I left, okay? I was like, this is intimidating. Like, you guys got it going. It's gotta be the most intimidating place in the world, right? I mean, everyone just looks like they know what they're doing. They know how all the machines work. They've got bands they're pulling out of their bag. They're stretching. I'm like, did those come with the membership? Where did you get those? Okay, they've got protein bars they're pulling out of their socks. They're mixing drinks at the gym. You don't know what they're putting in it. Is it a serum? Are they gonna turn into a super soldier? Like, they just seem like they know what's going on. Like, you got there at 12:45. They've been there all day long. You're like, you ain't got no job? Like, this is just what you do. And it's just very intimidating. I was asking a friend who's a triathlete, which simply means he's a great swimmer, biker, and runner. I said, hey, man, dude, the gym's intimidating, man. Just give me one thing that I can do that's gonna be a great full body workout. He's like, hey, why don't you should go swimming. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, man, the pool can't nearly be as intimidating as the weight room, okay? So I started this new habit of swimming, and I had some trouble breathing, so I bought a snorkel, okay? So I buy this snorkel, and all of a sudden, the other swimmers that are actually swimming, they're like, what in the world are you doing? And I said, I'm swimming. They said, with sharks? What's happening right now? I'm like, can you please just stop judging me? I'm trying to be a better human right now, okay? The judgment is real. Here's the deal, when you think about your habits, I'm not sure if you think that they're working for you or not, but James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, is kind of like this expert on habits. Here's something that he tweeted the other day, and I just thought it was brilliant. He said, your current habits are perfectly designed to deliver your current results. Think about that. Your current habits are perfectly designed to deliver your current results. I'd imagine that there's a lot of people watching and listening today that aren't very happy with their current results. And if you don't like where you are, it's wise to look at your current habits and make some adjustments. I love what leadership guru and John Maxwell often says. He says, you will never change your life until you change something you do daily. You've got to look at your daily habits. Here's the deal. Whether you'd consider yourself a Christian or a church person today, I think today's message is going to give you something that you can do daily that I believe will change your life. Today, I want to look at 4 normal habits that you and I can struggle with that I don't think are serving us well. And then I want to compare those to 4 biblical habits that I think we should start to form. And the first normal habit that I think a lot of us struggle with is worry. I mean, it's a habit. Some of us didn't even realize how much of a habit it is. It's almost like it's second nature, because the list of things we have to worry about is incredibly long. Have you ever thought about your worry list, like the list of things that you have to worry about? The first thing could be your relationship status. Single, dating, engaged, married, divorced, widowed. They're all statuses that can come with a little bit of worry. I mean, you can be single and worry that you're never going to find someone. You could be dating or engaged and worry that the other person is crazy. You could be the crazy one. We don't know. You could be married and worry that your marriage will never thrive. I mean, every status has its own set of worries. What else is on our worry list? Well, money. I mean, your bills can outweigh your income, and that can cause you to worry. Sometimes it's not bills. Sometimes it's just good old-fashioned spending. Nevertheless, just opening up your bank app on your phone can instantly cause you to have some worry. Health. Do I even need to explain this one? I mean, COVID-19 gets so much attention that sometimes we forget that all the other ailments and illnesses did not take a sabbatical, okay? They didn't take a break like, oh, no, flu's like, no, we good. We'll let COVID have this year. No, that did not happen at all. They're still around just ruining people's lives and interrupting our schedules, and it can be easy to get in a habit of worrying about what could go wrong with our health. Politics. I mean, how often do we just sit back and read headlines or watch the news and just worry about the state of our country? We see so much division around absolutely everything. And for me, I often worry about us. Full transparency, when I think about 2024, I get a little nervous. I mean, there's a little bit of me that's already worried about another election season. Not because of who will win, but because of the relationships we could lose. That's what I sometimes worry about. Another thing on our worry list, kids. I mean, this could be its own list, because they got their whole list of things that we worry about. I saw a meme the other day that just said, when moms sleep, it's just them worrying about their kids with their eyes closed for 6 to 8 hours, okay? It's just like, I didn't actually sleep. I was just thinking about them for 6 hours with my eyes closed. I mean, kids have their own list of things that we can absolutely worry about. We could be worrying about their grades. We could be worrying about how they perform in sports. We can worry about decisions that they make and friends that they hang out with. And you'd think it would stop when the kids leave the house and go to college. I've heard it gets worse. I've heard you worry more that they're now no longer under the roof. You stay up. You've prayed more now than you did when they were in your roof. I mean, it's just the kids, their health, their everything. It's just, we could just get in a habit of worrying about our kids so much. I mean, business. I mean, worry is all around our business. Working in one, owning one, making a customer happy at one, being a leader at one, being fired by one, getting promoted in one, making partner in one. I mean, we could just show up to work every single day with just a little bit of worry in our hearts, and I'm willing to bet you could add your own stuff to the list of things that you worry about. That's why I think this first biblical habit is vitally important. And the biblical habit I want us to adapt is, well, praying. I want to show you a verse. It's super long. I hope you can stick with me. It's 1 Thessalonians 5:17. It says, pray continually. We good? Okay. Pray continually. And I know what you're thinking. Come on, Ryan, give us something more than that, okay? Like that, come on, there's got to be more to the verse than that. It's just like, no, pray all the time. I was like, man, that sounds exhausting. Like, you want me to pray all day, every day? Like, that's a lot of prayer. And I agree with you. That is a lot of prayer. But considering how long our worry list is, praying continually sounds like a pretty good habit to me. Because if I told you, worry continually, you go, I'm already doing that. What's next? Okay, just think about that. So I think the Bible's actually pretty brilliant because they're going, hey, I actually think you should pray continually. Here's what I want you to consider doing this week. Maybe in a small group, maybe even with your family over dinner. I want you to make your worry list together. I'm like, I want, it's gonna be long, all right, because everyone's gonna share their own worries, the things that concern them the most, okay? And I want you to go around, and maybe you go around the table, the room, or the Zoom, and you say, hey, what concerns you the most? And someone volunteered to jot it all down. What keeps you up at night? What are you worried about? And just jot it down. You're gonna get this long list from everyone, maybe at your job, maybe in your family. You got this long worry list. And then what I want you to do is I want you to cross out the word worry and change it to prayer list. I mean, everything you worry about, like what we just looked at, is all stuff we should be praying about. So yeah, it's a really short verse, but actually it's pretty good advice. Sometimes we feel like we struggle knowing how to pray. It's like, man, I don't know what I'm talking to God about. It's like, you actually got a pretty long list of stuff to talk about if you think about it. I love how Jason talked about it a couple weeks ago. And he said, hey, we should see things that bring us anxiety as ping opportunities to give those things to God. The habit you want to form is praying more about what concerns you than worrying about it. Here's why. You have to answer this question. What has worrying done for you lately? What has worrying done for you lately? Name one best-selling book in the world that would tell you that a great plan for your parenting, your finances, or career advancement is, hey, I got some great advice for you. You should just worry more. Yep, worry more. Things gonna go great for you. If you just worry. No one says that. Why? Because we all know it doesn't do much for us. Pray continually. This is the other thing I've learned about people who pray a lot. And again, this isn't like some people talk to God, they can pray for like 3 hours. All right, they could just go on and on and on and on and on. I'm just like, God must really like you, okay, because you talk a lot to him like that. Then there's other people who, they talk to God for 2 minutes every hour. There's just this constant connection. And I just think that every single time that we want to worry about something, I think that's just important that we give that to God. And I found that the people that do this the most, they actually worry the least. Why? Because they've spent all of their worrying time praying instead. It's not that they've gone through anything different than you. It's not like they get a get out of trouble free card. No. They're just going, you know what? I'm going to spend most of my day giving those things to God. And here's the deal. I know that's not normal, but it's normal working. I just think if we just prayed more than we worried, I think it would change our lives. The second normal habit that I think a lot of us deal with, scrolling. If you have an iPhone, it's got screen time and will tell you how much you've spent on different apps. And this is somewhat of a habit, how much time you've spent on different apps. Did you know that the average daily social media usage of internet users worldwide amounted to 145 minutes per day? That is 2 hours and 15 minutes every single day. Maybe your habit isn't exactly scrolling. Maybe let's use a different word just for a second. Streaming. Here's the deal. I didn't say this was a bad habit. I said it was a normal one. And once again, what we have to ask with every single one of these normal habits is, what has it done for us lately? What has scrolling done for you lately? Here's the daily biblical habit I want to encourage us to consider. Learning. Every single day. You say, you know what? I want to learn. I want to gain wisdom. I love what Proverbs chapter 2, verse 6 says. It says, for the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He holds success in store for the upright. He is a shield to those whose walk is blameless. For he guards the course of the just and protects the way of his faithful ones. Then you will understand what is right and just and fair, every good path. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will protect you, and understanding will guard you. I read that and I just think, who doesn't need that? But how much time do we spend trying to get that from God? You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. What if some of the 2 hours and 15 minutes we give to scrolling, we gave to learning and getting wisdom? 2 hours and 15 minutes every day. No, you know how much time that is in a year? 882 hours. That's what we just give. Imagine what your life and my life would look like if we gave a quarter of that to getting into God's word. I mean, we just read the results. Success in store for the upright. Guards the course, protects the way, understanding good paths, discretion that brings protection. How many business decisions have you had to make in your life? How many career decisions have you had to make in your life where you're constantly going, I don't know what the right path is? And here's the deal. I'm not anti-social media. I'm actually pro-social media. I think it can make a difference in the world, but we do have to stop and pause and just go, okay, what has it done for us lately? Who couldn't use a little bit of direction in their life? I mean, I think you'll be surprised the amount of trouble you stay out of when you make a habit of learning something from God every single day. I think it starts with the Bible. I don't think it ends there. I think it could also be a book, a devotional, maybe a podcast, maybe a sermon. But on some level, every single one of us has to look at what spiritual habit we're going to create to help us end up in the place we actually want to be. The third normal habit that I think that we can fall into is comparing. And this kind of goes with scrolling. I promise you, I don't stalk my neighbors, but I do pay attention. Okay, just so you know. The other day, my neighbor got a Tesla. And all of the other neighbors surrounded the car in awe of it. It looked like a prayer circle. I'm like, what are y'all doing, okay? And I can't help but look in my garage and wonder, man, it would be kind of nice to not ever have to go to a gas station again. I'm like, man, that's kind of cool. You're just kind of looking across the street and just going, man, it must It must be nice. And then another neighbor, they upgraded their entire front yard. It is gorgeous. Let's just say, come summertime, their grass will certainly look greener than ours. And we can't help but just look and just be like, man, where'd they get that stone? Like, that's cool. And then another neighbor, you're going, well, where do you live? I'm like, listen, trust me, they got it, not me. So another neighbor, they've been in the process of doing an addition. If you're doing an addition, like that's serious. They're doing an addition to their house that includes a pool house. I walked back there the other day. He wanted to give me like a little tour. It's a water park. That's what it is. He added a water park to his house. No kids. You got 2 dogs. I went, your dog going down the slide. Is that what we're doing? We got enough room in our backyard for like a kiddie pool. He was the first one on the block, got the corner lot with the woods behind him. We got like this much space. We're like, hey kids, here's a water hose. Go have fun, but can't we easily do the comparing thing? It's a habit. I'm also the assistant coach for my son's basketball team. And in first grade, it's all about kids having fun. That's what it said in the email, You already know, the kids are just here to have fun, except the parents are not there to have fun at all. It's about winning. It's like super competitive. I don't know why it felt like March Madness NCAA tournament for this first grade YMCA game, but for some odd reason, we are in it to win it. And you know what can happen is you can easily just start comparing your kid to the other kids. And then, you just start playing these games. You want to know what else happens at these games? Parents sign up to bring snacks. You start comparing snacks from last week to this week, And I told my wife I got it one weekend and I didn't have it, but I was prideful. I was like, babe, I got it. Don't worry, but don't even worry about it. I got the snacks. She's like, Ryan, are you sure? I think you could use some help with the snacks. I said, I don't need your help with the snacks. I got it. Except I didn't have it. So I called Jimmy John's, So here I come with 2 boxes worth of a buffet, and the coach sends out an anonymous text to the parents and he says, parents, just so you're aware, we need a all caps snack, not a full meal. I went, hey, don't be comparing my Jimmy John's to your Lunchables, my stuff was legit. But nevertheless, can't we just get in this habit of just comparing just about everything? Because our habit of scrolling could easily fall into our habit of comparing at the same time. And perhaps there is somebody in your life that you have come to the conclusion that the person that you follow was prettier, cooler, maybe richer, or more influential than you. And whether we're comparing our lives online or offline, I think we all have plenty of opportunity to have a habit of comparing in our neighborhood, in our classrooms, in our jobs, maybe even your home. I hear about sibling rivalries all the time, where there's this constant comparison between brothers and sisters. And it can just drive a wedge between parents and their kids in this thing. It's a habit. And once again, what has comparing done for us lately? I get that comparison can sometimes motivate us to be better, or perhaps we can learn from others by doing a comparison, but wouldn't we all agree that 90 to 95% of the time, comparison is either going to make us feel like we're better than someone else, or it's gonna make us feel worse about ourselves. Isn't that what happened most of the time? Here's the daily biblical habit that I think is a great alternative to comparing. Celebrating. Just looking at the people in our world going, I'm happy for you, genuinely. Dude, you never have to go to the gas station again. I'll pick up something from 7-Eleven for you when I go, because you're never gonna see it again. It's gonna be awesome. What's wrong with that? There's this story in scriptures about a prodigal son. There is a son who took his inheritance and he wasted it. And then he comes home, and the father was so glad to see his son that he throws a party for him. It's the famous prodigal son story, if you're familiar with this text in Luke 15. And so, but he was the younger brother. And as the party is going on, what we see in Luke is this. It says, the older brother became angry and refused to go in. He refused to go into the party. So his father went out and pleaded with him, but he answered his father, look, all these years, I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet, you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, interesting verbiage there, that's your brother. But have you ever said that to your spouse? Hey, this child of yours over here is acting up. I don't know who he belongs to, but you need to get it together, okay? So this son of yours who has squandered your property with prostitutes comes home. You kill the fattened calf for him? I mean, how often are we like this older brother? Especially when we're watching other people succeed and get married and have children and graduate and grow their social media platform and build their business and get promoted. If I could sit with the older brother in the lobby of Eagle Brook Church this weekend, I would give him one piece of encouragement. Go to the party. Go to the party. Celebrate your brother. Let's not forget he's your brother. Go to the party. Have you ever struggled to be happy for other people? I want to encourage you, celebrate somebody this week. Encourage somebody this week. Support somebody this week. Your celebration of them does not make you any less valuable. I love what the writer of Hebrews describes as the type of people I think that we should be striving to be. He says, and let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. It's gonna be very hard to celebrate, encourage, and spur one another on if we're constantly comparing ourselves to one another. I can't speak for you, but I can speak for me, and I wanna be that kind of person. I hope when people think of me like, man, Ryan, man, he encouraged me to be better and to do good deeds and to love people. I want to be that type of friend. I want to be that type of family member. I want to be that kind of neighbor. I want to be that kind of colleague that literally sits around and considers how I could support and celebrate what's going on in somebody else's life. Is there anybody in your life whose party you need to go to? The last normal habit that I believe is extremely popular with us is complaining. I mean, we had a worry list earlier, but couldn't we copy and paste most of that onto the list of things we complain about as well? Except we would add to it. Our spouses, oh yeah, we'll complain. Our kids, yeah, we'll complain. Referees at our kids' games, okay, maybe that's just me. School's COVID-19 quarantine policies. When you got 5+ children, only one of them is sick, but all 5 got to stay home, you ain't thinking, God bless you, school, we love you. Like, no, it's like, what? And they're doing their job, but what do? We complain. Our jobs, our bosses, our government, customer service at a restaurant, the Vikings. I mean, you pick your list. There's so much in our world to complain about. In fact, I found myself having a habit of complaining, especially over the last couple of years, because it felt like it was the popular thing to do. Everybody's doing it. And you feel like roped into it. I found myself like complaining about stuff that I didn't even really need to complain about in my life. I mean, it's almost like you're being insensitive to people that are really going through stuff if you don't have something to complain about. So they complain about how bad it is at their job. You feel like you got a great job, but you're like, yeah, my boss crazy, yeah. No, he's not, okay? You might be married to them. Like, what are you talking about? I mean, I've sat across from people, like, they'll be complaining about their wife. Oh, man, I got to stay at home with her for like 10 hours. And I'm like, yeah, man, my wife is pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a whole lot to complain about. She's actually pretty great. I actually enjoy getting to spend a little bit more time with her now that I think about it. But once again, all of us have to step back and ask ourselves, what has complaining done for us lately? Here's the last daily biblical habit that I know will change our life if we adopt it. Appreciating. I love what 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says this. It says, give thanks in all circumstances. All. For this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. So many people are going, I don't know what God's will is. Somebody help me. What's God's will? Give thanks in all circumstances. And you will find yourself in the center of God's will. This could be the most encouraging, discouraging verse in Scripture. Why? Well, because it's a great habit to form of looking at your life and consistently looking for things to appreciate instead of complaining about them. However, the discouraging piece could be the all circumstances piece, because all circumstances include highs and lows. All circumstances include divorce or happily married or recently single. All circumstances include broke or rich, bankrupt or investments growing. All circumstances include good grades, bad grades. All circumstances include winning or losing. All circumstances include bad doctor's report or a clean bill of health. It's all circumstances. But we get the biblical posture that we should have. Appreciating, thankful. Your favorite team could win the Super Bowl next weekend or not. But regardless of the outcome, it's included in all the circumstances you and I should give thanks in. Here's the challenge. I want to encourage each and every one of us to try just for 1 week, okay? Just for 1 week. I want us to give up complaining for just 1 week. Just try it. I think it'll change your life. Now, here's the deal. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I'm gonna have to be real quiet for a week. Some of you got to take off work. The whole week can't go. You have to call in sick. Sorry, I just don't know. I don't know what else. I don't know what I do. There's a husband right now that's really looking forward to see how this plays out. He's like, oh, this week's gonna be awesome. He's like, I got a free pass to do whatever I want. She can't say nothing. I'm gonna make sure she listens to this message every single day. But don't worry, this works both ways. She's gonna hand you a bologna sandwich for dinner and you can't complain either, okay? I mean, just think about it. I mean, for some of us, we won't even be able to talk to our best friend for a whole week. We're gonna be mid-conversation and be like, hey, sorry. I'm doing the church thing. I can't talk right now. I'll call you next Monday. Okay, we'll talk next Monday. Okay, that's what we'll do. I mean, that's how much some of us just do this, that it could find ourselves at our jobs, in our homes, in our schools, just complaining. I want to take it away from you for a week. And I'm challenging us to do this because I want us to substitute complaining with appreciation. You could complain about someone in your home, or you could appreciate the fact that you have someone in your home to be frustrated with at all. I know a lot of people who've lost so many people over the last couple of years, and they'd give anything to get in a fight with their loved one right now. I mean, you could complain about your job, or you could appreciate the fact that you have one. Just try it for a week. Tell your friends, put it on social media. Some of you might have to delete social media too. You're like, I can't be on there. Here we go. No complaining for 1 week. And see how appreciation and gratefulness could change the dynamic of your life. I hope that we can be a community of people that praise more than we worry. I pray we could spend more time learning than we do scrolling. Imagine if we found ourselves celebrating one another more than we did comparing ourselves to one another. And what if we began appreciating the good in the circumstances we might be tempted to complain about. Today, I hope we simply gave you something to strive for in your daily life. I've seen some of these normal habits absolutely ruin people's lives, and I don't think that has to be you. And my prayer for us is that we surrender our habits to God and allow him to give us the ones that add value to our lives and the lives of those around us. God, I thank you so much for this amazing church. God, I pray that we would take our habits and surrender them to you. I pray, God, that we would truly take the things that bother us the most and bring those to you. I pray, God, that we would be able to look at all of our circumstances and truly say, you know what, Lord, maybe you're doing something in this that we can't see. May we walk around with a spirit of gratefulness, to be able to walk around and appreciate the people and the circumstances in our lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Hey, join us next week as we begin a new series called 4. Have a great week.